offensive to some cultures.
Oh yeah.
Because some cultures don't like seeing the body below the feet. So I have to sit like this.
What culture is that?
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah.
I don't think
We reached out to the Islamic people. We're in good nick.
We're actually more popular in like Germany and Romania than Islam.
Well, Romania's pretty close to it.
Yeah. That's not.
Start calling up Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate?
Yeah,
Oh, I'll give
he
him
lives
some.
in Romania.
Get the top G on. Come on.
Maybe like if one day I get beyond like a simp level, I might come on. I can't wait till I have that studio. Then I can have like a Wi-Fi setup where I can have like Skype style interviews on a TV screen. That'd be nice. I've got a new flag in there. It's starting to look actually kind of professional.
A new flag?
Yeah, like with the Thought Anthology logo on it.
Oh shit, let's go.
Yeah, it's getting pretty cool. I've just got to...
I like that.
It's just slow going. Hell yeah. Welcome to Thought Anthology episode 22, where average people talk about average things, such as Chris drinking water.
Yeah.
That's a crisp dihydrogen monoxide. Did you know 100% of people who drink dihydrogen monoxide in their life die?
Yes. yes, they do. That is a true fact.
It's like saying every person that breathes dies.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Like, eventually that air supply just gets cut off. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biology. Today we have Mr. Dashington, or Kyle.
What's up?
And
that's me.
Chris and myself. Today we're going to talk to Kyle about, well, mainly Kyle going to Canada, but also like Kyle's story and how he ended up here in Mildura, because it sounds like he had a bit of a roller coaster from here to there. And also, did you want to talk about Moringa pre-season for like one of the smallest country town leagues? And yeah, well, let's just start with. Why don't we just go from the top and start like how'd you end up in Mildura? Like, how did you want to tackle this?
Shit. However you want to tackle it.
There's so many ways we could tackle this. Like saying.
So we'll start at the birth.
At the birth. So where were you born, Dash?
The base.
So where'd you come
the old Mildura, the old base.
The old base, yeah.
Back in '97.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday apparently.
Saturday. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you come alive on a Saturday night.
Yeah. He was alive before that. Do you know, like in Chinese cultures, your birthday is actually not your birthday. They do like their zodiac signs when you're conceived, not when you're born.
I don't know.
Because you're actually alive when you're conceived.
Yeah, you're technically like a living organism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a weird argument for the abortion people. Pro-life, pro-choice. Let's get a really rough start. With some silence.
Straight into it.
Wow.
Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, so Mildura-based public hospital. Oh, that's what we are now.
Yeah.
Old Mildura base. So how long were you in town
Currently
before
a
you...
hotel.
Currently, yeah, it is a... Well, not really.
Well, no, it's
hotel,
like more apartments, which is...
Yeah. Bryce used to live in one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to own one. I used to own a little of the units.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, I helped to move in there.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah, we went down to the basement once. That's pretty cool.
Are you like, is everyone allowed down there?
If you have the key, if you like...
Yeah.
If you live there, you get a key and you can use a storage, so you can put like your push button and stuff. But I wouldn't. It's horrifying. Like, it looks like a slaughterhouse down there because it's got like corrugated iron.
Yeah.
And it's just concrete floors. I think there's a portion where like the morgue was, but I'm not quite certain.
I don't know. Well, that sort of stuff like freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, you know, people that have like...
Get Jake.
Jake on?
You can go down there.
Oh, we can Jake down. Sorry, as you were saying.
Oh, just like people have like died in some of those rooms and...
Yeah.
All that sort of weird stuff is like...
We've got to get you on a ghost hunt then.
I'd do it.
You do a ghost hunt? Yeah.
I'd shoot myself, but I'd still do it.
Apparently the cemetery near the airport's pretty scary.
Yeah, okay.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm at least willing to be scared by something in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. So how long were you in town for? Because you went to Queensland at some point.
So I was born here. 97. I moved, did like all my schooling, my junior schooling, like primary school and whatnot here. Moved to Bathurst in New South Wales in 2010, about April.
Okay, April 2010.
Aprilish, yeah. Then moved back here in 2019, and then here I am.
So what did you do with yourself in your time where you were in Bathurst?
So I was like in year 7, so I was like 12.
Yeah.
So obviously went to school. I did year 12, like HSC, which is the VCE equivalent.
Yeah.
New South Wales.
Yeah.
After that, worked at Masters, which is like Bunnings, but Woolies owned it.
Okay.
They owned it, and then they shut them down at the end of like 2016. So I was fresh out of school, started working at Masters for 12 months, and then they shut it down.
Yeah.
Worked at like electrical wholesaler for another 12 months. Worked in disability for 18 months, and then moved back down here. Worked in disability.
Yeah.
And then now at the school and working at Macca's and stuff like that. And
yeah.
yeah.
What disability place did you work at?
So I worked at in Bathurst. It's called Vivability.
Yeah. And what about here?
SRS.
SRS. I was going to say, I was wondering if you worked with my brother because he worked for the Trio.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's some nurses that work at SRS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So during your time in Bathurst, were you still, what were you doing? Were you following any further education or anything like that? Because like you're a teacher, but were you doing anything before that or?
No, not really. I was just living my best life.
Yeah.
Partying, getting into all kinds of mischief since I think we were like 16, getting into mischief, having house parties and going out drinking and sneaking out and doing drugs and
Doing the usual thing.
Yeah, just like doing like the usual young thing.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do. So
yeah.
But then we grew out of it. Played footy, played rugby league up there, AFL. Bit of cricket, bit of everything really.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mm.
Alrighty.
Mm.
So, what do you do with yourself now? So there's been a series of events because now you've put in place that you want to go to Canada.
Yeah.
So before that, you're doing a teaching degree.
Yeah.
But you're also working 2 jobs as a teacher's aide plus Macca's.
Yeah, correct.
And then, so now there's this idea of Canada coming through. So,
it's almost there.
So why did you choose Canada for?
So me and the other boys, one of the other boys, Tyler Titties Clark.
Who I should probably get on here.
Who should probably get on because he'd have some really cracking stories, I reckon.
Yeah.
Me and him and Joe Logue, Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, definitely Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, they were all out drinking one night, and those two come up with an idea to move to Canada, and I went home early from that night because I wasn't drinking, I was driving. I was like, oh yeah, and we started talking about it at the gym, because we started at the gym and we started talking about it, and I was like, let's do it. So me and Tyler just started talking about it a lot more and looking up how to move over there, and we chose Canada. It was like weighing up America and Canada, and we're like, oh, Canada's probably a safer bet in the fact that, like, you know, it's very similar to to Australia in like a lot of ways, where it's like run by the monarch and it's like all of the laws and
Commonwealth.
It's like all the usual sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we decided to do that, and it was like, yeah, Canada seems pretty good.
So what was the process for that? So like when you're applying, so is it a definite pathway that you are going to go? Is it like you waiting for the acceptance of some sort of?
So for me, it's different. Like, so for me, I'm going through a company called Global Work and Travel.
Yeah.
So basically with them, you go on their website, you search it up, and then it's got like they do a bunch of different working holidays and things like that. You can like teach English in like Spain and things like that.
Yeah.
You can be like a live-in nanny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's so many different options in so many different countries that you can choose, but they do offer Canada, so I elected to do that. So you pay some money to that, and then you pay obviously your flights, accommodation. They provide you with a lot of things as well, help with your visa and your insurance, travel insurance, flights, getting a job over there.
Yeah. So
I'm guaranteed a job before I even leave Australia next year.
Yeah.
So I'm booked in for March of next year. So I told my employer at the school, I said, this is what I'm doing, and they're 100% supportive. Everyone around me is supportive. The community, the teaching community that I've got, support me 100%.
Yeah.
Say it's awesome. Do it while you can. Do it while you're young. And I was just like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's awesome. Thanks to everyone for the support. Like, nothing's better than when you do a massive life decision, but you have everyone rooting for you.
Yeah.
Like when everyone supports you and in your endeavour, it makes you feel 10 times better about going.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love the work,
Yeah.
but just wanted to do something different, and this is what I came to. So I think that, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I said I'd give myself 12 months over there, do it for 12 months, see what happens. If I don't like it, I'll come back, and then, work and things like that like normal.
Yeah.
So I've deferred my university studies at the moment. So if I don't like it, I can always come back to uni,
Yeah.
do that. And then if I do like it over there, I'll just try and be an international student through my university.
Okay, cool.
See if I can do that. See if that's an
Yeah.
option. Because I think that it's definitely a pathway, like of employment that I want to do. Definitely. I just, at the moment, I just want to try this new thing, see what happens. Unsure of what job I'll get, but they have like ski resort jobs and things like that. But I'd love like a events coordinator,
Yeah.
something like that, because I think that would be really sick, and
Yeah.
really cool. Doing Vancouver, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Might not happen, don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they provide like a lot of things for you, and I found it easier to go through that process to get over there. Doesn't mean that I'll be guaranteed to get let in or with a visa or whatever, but I just think that for me it helps me set up more.
Yeah.
I can't go into this like willy-nilly or like without a plan.
Yeah.
With some employers, they offer you accommodation and things like that, which would be sick. They help you find accommodation if your employer doesn't offer it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different options that you can do. You get given like a social security number, you get given a bank account, like you sign up for your own bank account, SIM card, everything like that. So all of the normal things like that you'll receive.
Yeah.
And that's all through this company, which is awesome. So that's where I'm at with that. Whereas like the other boys aren't doing it that way. They're going to do their own thing. I think also for them, like Tiddy's, he's a tradie.
Yeah, he's told me he's talking to somebody already and teed something up with a carpenter or something.
Yeah, he started to like tee up with a couple of companies over there, which is awesome for him. Love that. I just did apply for a job through AFL.
Yeah.
They offered like an AFL Canada offered like a job as like a recruitment sort of person. And
Yeah, so what's AFL? What is, like, so in AFL Canada, I'm assuming they play AFL there.
yeah.
So AFL Canada, so like what's the league like there? Is it...
Well, I think that the quality obviously wouldn't compare to us here in Australia. Even our probably reserve grade squad would probably do all right over there.
I'd be surprised if they did.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if we didn't win at least a couple of games over there.
Yeah.
But I think they're growing, they're expanding, and that's what they were looking for. They were looking for like a development officer, work in primary schools, which would be awesome. Help with sponsorships and recruiting and trying to find people to play, figuring out registration fees and all that kind of stuff, which it looked like a really awesome job. Heard back from them, didn't get that, which is fine because like it's a bit hard also.
That would have been so competitive. There would have been heaps of people.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think, although you didn't have to be qualified for it, I think that like my passion for the sport is immense. So I'll probably be playing footy over there anyway.
Awesome. Yeah.
Looking at a few different clubs over there, just seeing what's over there and seeing what sort of commitment there is. But I think Vancouver is a nice little spot. Apparently, I've heard it's like the most expensive city in Canada.
Okay.
One of. But I also see that America is like just there. It's like 2 hours away.
Okay, so you have a choice of going across the border.
Yeah, you can go down. I was thinking like Seattle, Portland, so you can go watch NBA, NFL, watch ice hockey.
Awesome.
All of the like American sports.
Which the NHL season has started now as well.
Yeah, it's just started. So go the Canucks.
You go the Canucks. I go Anaheim.
Yeah.
/ Blackhawks / every other team.
Yeah, such every team. I just thought being in Vancouver, I mean, you got to support the Canucks.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously like it's more opportunity for things like mixed martial arts as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like boxing events and UFC events and things like that in America, or even in Canada there might be a few opportunities. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think Canada is the perfect spot for that opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided there, because it just seemed like the right fit.
Yeah.
And they don't speak too much French over there in Vancouver, so that's alright.
Yeah, because that's on the
East side. Yeah. Like east side is like Toronto and like
west side.
Yeah, Quebec and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas west side is so it's like California side is Vancouver, and like New York side is Toronto and Ontario and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Alrighty, cool. So what's the one thing, besides all that stuff, what's the one thing you're looking forward to in Canada?
I just think just trying something new, like just experiencing a different country and how other people work. Like obviously in Australia we're pretty laid back. Yeah. I find, and we can also be pretty ruthless.
In what sense?
I mean, look, to be honest, Australia's just a bunch of bogans. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, most of us are. Let's be honest. We're just wild people.
A bunch of ferals.
Love to drink and party and get really fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably be interesting to see the nightlife and see how they are and see how we are with them and things like that. See if we mix well or not.
I hear we're pretty bad as a country. We're pretty renowned everywhere globally.
Yeah.
Like Ireland, we're pretty apparently we're like the most alcoholic out of all countries at the moment.
I think so. I think like I was talking to my sister. She just came back from Europe like in September, and she's like in Italy and things like that. They drink to enjoy the drink. Yeah. Whereas like in Australia, we drink to get fucked up. Yeah. Like we drink to get as blackout as possible. Yeah. Like, I mean...
Why else do you drink?
Well, exactly. Like, then that's it.
They also drink a lot earlier, though.
As like an age?
Yeah, like they're drinking from like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Drinking wine.
Oh, we're drinking from 12 here.
And they... but like legally. Like it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
And you drink it like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
And it's like... And they just have like one. Yeah. They have like one glass of wine at lunch. Yeah. With whatever they're eating or whatever. Whereas us... We're like, we have one sip of beer and we're like, who wants to buy the first bag? Yeah. Like that's us. Like
that's young Australian culture.
Yeah, like you want, you have a couple of beers and you just like go around. And you're like, oh, boys, like who wants to buy a bag? Like, it happens like now. Like,
Yeah. Well, some of us are like that.
Some of us. I know plenty of people that are like that. What else was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, do you want to add on Moringa? What do you wanted to talk about that? What do you want to talk about in regards to that?
Oh, I just thought something different.
Alrighty, yep.
We're starting to play for a new club.
Yeah.
Sign up. I mean, you signed up.
Oh, I haven't signed the contract yet, but I will.
You're getting the legal team to look over it first, making sure the money's right.
Yeah, making sure that I don't know if I get paid. To be honest, if I did.
I just thought we just started like this pre-season and it's like a good little fitness sort of thing. I guess that's probably more the point is like it's a good fitness thing. Yeah.
From your point of view, what do you reckon about the Milawa League?
I think it needs something. I don't know what.
More competition.
Yeah. An even spread. Looking at some of the results from last year, when you got a club that's struggling and they get beaten by 350 points, obviously something's got to give. Yeah. So obviously something happens or something's wrong there. So, but then again, there's two leagues in the area, so you're competing against each other. Yeah. All the time. So it just depends.
I don't see why they don't merge because that'll make it.
Yes and no. I mean, it'd make for a big season.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, but then you look at it like you almost be like the NFL where not every team plays each other. Yeah. And then when they do, it's only in finals. Yeah. You'd have like in the NFL they've got like the West and the East and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it could be something like that maybe. All the leagues out Oriental way would be like their own little division, and whoever wins that division then goes into the finals or something like that. Yeah. Or whoever wins, like another division, and they play off, and it just becomes a thing. Or do they just you know, do they just merge and just see? I mean, there's, I think, 6 or 7 clubs there.
Yeah.
Plus the 6 or 7, that's 14. You know, you'd be looking at least, if you want to try and play everyone twice, that's at least, you know, 28 games. That's a big season. That's like a full AFL season, really, when you think about it.
28 weeks plus finals, is it?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be pretty awesome, though. But yeah, it'd be big.
It'd be big, yeah. Like, you'd have to start, like, you know,
March, April.
Yeah.
pretty much middle of March. Usually kick off after Easter.
Yeah.
Is the usual, I'm pretty sure, about Easter time.
Okay.
Either I think it's just after Easter they kick off usually the local leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which would be end of March, April-ish, I think.
Mm.
I don't know when Easter is. No idea.
So why'd you choose Marengo? What's the go with that?
The boys.
The boys?
The boys.
Nice.
I know some of them were staying, but I was just, you know, the boys that we've got that I had a lot of fun with this year, like yourself, Tiddies, Joe, Jazz, Chiller, you know, all those boys I had a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
And I just thought that, you know, it'd be a good place to be.
Yeah, it won't be the same without him if you did just stay with Mildura.
Well, that's it. Like, you know, it'd be like moving. It'd be like meeting everyone again, and you know, although it's probably the skill level would probably be better at Mildura, with obviously their announcements of coaching and things like that, and players that they've got now coming back into the squad for next year, looking really strong. Just that energy is what I was looking for. So I'll like keep training and things like that up until I leave. So if I get a game in, that would be cool. If not, if the timing's not right, then I won't. But we'll see.
Well, the first training session was good. Like, we didn't know. Well, there's only like 4 of us that knew each other, which is like you, us.
Yeah.
But, like, the rest of those guys were really friendly, and like it was actually like
it was
pretty upbeat compared to like, you know, Mildura, where like it's a bit. Yeah. Some people are a bit like offish, and then some are actually up and about.
Yeah, definitely. And like if you look at it as well, that 5 of us used to rock up at training, you know, in our squad. Yeah. You know, there'd be 5. We had 19 there in October pre-season. Yeah. Which is crazy. Yeah. November pre-season. Like, that's crazy. That especially the day after Melbourne Cup. Yeah. Where a lot of the boys would like to go out drinking and things like that. Some of them rocked up, and you know, we still had a good session. Yeah, they sound like they just love footy, which is awesome. Yeah, which is what you want. So I think that all in all will be a good little squad next year. Minus a couple, but see what happens. Yeah. No, I'm signing up because I just like the pre-season that Jared's got. Yeah. Because like if it's just skill based, like for me, like that's perfect for me from my point of view, because I like want to build my skills, and like if you can put that into training, every training session where we're just doing like skills under pressure. Yeah. Like that's what I need to build, like that critical thinking in their game situation. Yeah. Because like with Mildura, like their pre-season season's just fitness essentially, and then they do the skills nearing towards, which is something I don't need personally as a player, because I need to work on my skills more than my fitness. Yeah. No. If you can run a 2K in almost sub 7, like that's I mean, decent. Which is what you can do. Yeah. I mean, you know, whereas some of the other boys will probably run, you know, into the 10s. Yeah. For some of them, I think I'd probably run like probably a 14, I reckon. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if I doubled your time, if not tripled it. Like, you know. I reckon I can do a sub 7 by the end of pre-season. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Like, you know, I'd probably be lucky to get, you know, sub 9, I reckon. Yeah. If I had like a solid pre-season. Yeah. But then again, like it's fine. Yeah. You know, I'm not built for running. I'm built for not built for speed. You're built for the back line, mate. Or the forward. You're forward. Full forward. Yeah, I'm built to take grabs and kick goals. So. You got good hands as well. I try to. Yeah. You know, you got to when you're as big as me, you got to have decent hand skills. Yeah. Yeah. But I like the idea of what Jared's got going on in that regard. Definitely. And hopefully all the other boys think so too. And I think like if we build a bit more of if we start early and start building a community now, because all the boys seem like they're all involved compared to Mildura, where like in the group chat, everyone's quite reserved. Yeah. I've noticed in the Moringa one, they're really involved. Yeah, and they're really supportive. Like everyone in the chat, like is like the supporting dash. They're supporting like, oh, let's go for a run outside of training, or like you know. And it's not like
doesn't seem like they're bullshitting each other. Where like in Mildura, they'll say like they'll talk in these terms like this grandiose bravado, if that makes sense. Like I can't remember how the language. I can't really describe the language. It's more like it's more like a slight negative to it, whereas like the Moringa good boys are trying to build each other up to an extent. Like, it sounds more legitimate instead of just put on.
100%. Yeah, I just think at the moment like it's going to be a good preseason. It's skill based. I mean that's really when you think about it, that's what wins your football games is skill. Yeah. Because everyone can run. Yeah. Not everyone can kick a footy straight or can make the right decision at the right time.
Or do a snap from the forward pocket,
Yeah, and hit the post.
I
thought that was going in.
I was so
we
excited.
all thought we were literally about to grab ya, and then and we just hear that ting.
Oh, the biggest disappointment of my life. I've worked on that for so long.
Yeah, and it was such a beautiful snap. Yeah, honestly, like it's and from us, like
Maybe this season I'll get it.
Maybe I hope so.
I hope so too. Maybe before you go, I'll try. Maybe try to snap one for the pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good to hear. I should probably get Jared on and talk to him about coaching. That'd be interesting. Maybe if I got like all the boys, like a group of 5, once the shed's done, chuck them in there and do like a group one. I reckon
make sure it's done before March.
It'll definitely be done before then. Like it's nearly done now.
Oh, is it? That's
like
good.
It's just the issue is cooling because it's fucking hot in there. I need to and for you and Jared, you guys will be sweating, so like I don't want to.
I was like, I had the aircon full when I was coming over. I was like, trying to cool myself down.
Yeah, you're made for Canada. You're not made for.
I'm made for the winter. I'm not made for this 40-degree heat.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
What was I going to say next? There's like I can edit this out anyway, but you were talking about how you, like, ages ago, you wanted to discuss the aspects of your mental health.
Yeah, I mean, like, mental health is, like, something that's not discussed anymore. And, like, you find it a lot these days that, I don't know, people say stuff about mental health and it's like, no one really talks about it. Or they'll be like, won't talk about their own personal mental health issues and things like that. It's just something that, like, I just, like, you know what, like, trying to push. I'm not always in support of it. Because I think it's something that, as we see all the time, we know that it's something that needs to be talked about and needs to be discussed more. And I think that it's not discussed more, even though we're all trying to discuss it. No one's discussing it. Yeah, it feels like it's all being danced around. But so I don't know. That's why I sort of decided that mental health would be pretty good to talk about, but
So where would you like to start if you want to talk about that?
Oh, I mean, start it from wherever.
So when you wanted to bring it up, you want to talk about your own perspectives of mental health. So like, what aspects did you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your own struggles or?
Yeah, like I think that talking about your own struggles with mental health, and it probably ties in a lot to the last time I was on talking about like. The toxic masculinity and things like that, and all that kind of stuff. Like it all ties in together. Yeah, I think. So like I think not many. I don't know many people know, but like I struggle with mental health. Like being depressed and wanted to not be here and things like that. It's something that you come to terms with at some stage, and something that I dealt with. And sort of, I guess, like, through, like, high school and things like that, I guess that's where it sort of kicks off for a lot of people. Yeah. I think purely for the fact that, like, that's when, when you get to high school, everyone starts to, like, talk about, like, you on social media and, like, makes posts about you and just, like, I mean, not everyone, but, like, it's something that is often talked about a lot.
So how do you remember high school? What was it like for you? What do you remember?
I remember having like a good group of friends, a really solid friendship group, who I still talk to like now. And we've been friends, since like year 9, like year 8, year 9. We used to talk about whatever, and just also remember people like not being super kind, which is what I sort of try and tell people to be, is like be kind. Even like if now I'm teaching kids and things like that, you know, instill with them that, you know, be kind to everyone. If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it. You know, we've got quotes over classrooms and things like that. There's like plenty of quotes that stick with me. It's like, in a world where you could be anything, be kind. You know, be the reason someone smiles today. You know, because you just don't know what someone's going through. You know, whether it's, you know, you're walking past someone and they look at you and, you know, you just smile at them and say, hey, or whatever. Like, you know, you never know, that person could be having like a really shit day.
Yeah.
And that could be like the thing that just brings them up. You know, like you hear about it a lot, like in the media and things like that, but it is true. You just never know what people are going through. Yeah, so like, high school was, I wouldn't say difficult, it was interesting. Some parts were difficult, dealing with all the different things that happened in my life. Like losing my dad when I was like 14, like in year 8, was pretty tough, and especially like with none of my friends knowing how that feels or like how to cope with that. All of the emotions with that was pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Just because like you just, you know, it's something that's a trauma that you don't realise until you get a little bit older and you start, you know, doing research into, you know, why kids act certain ways and things like that, and then you think back to when you were, you know, their age or younger and things like that, and you're like, oh, that's why I was feeling that way, or that's why potentially I was doing this particular thing. Yeah, so that happened, and then like had like a good group of friends to support me. Didn't really speak to anyone about it until I was probably like 20, 21. Just didn't know how to talk about it. Didn't know how to talk about it with like family and things like that. It's just something that we never really spoke about. It felt like awkward to talk about. Because you don't really know how to talk about it. I cope with it, and like I can talk about it fine now. Like it doesn't bother me. I talked about it like with seeing like, you know, counsellors and things like that. Spoke to them about it, you know, when I was like 20, 21, and you know, had like a bunch of, you know, medicals done and things like that, like blood work and things like that. And you guys being mental health nurses would know. You know, like if you've got a chemical imbalance, then, you know, it's a good indication. Apparently there was nothing there when there's no chemical imbalance for me. I was just feeling pretty shit. Not saying that they recommended me not going on medication and things like that. Which I feel was probably like the best thing for me. To not be on that. And like I'm not a doctor or a nurse or something like that who has dealt with it and knows the side effects or knows the effects of taking like mental health medication and things like that.
Well, it depends on which one you're on. There's a list of side effects. Like weight gain, like that's a major one. Or like with antidepressants, like it takes a long time for them to actually be effective. And then taking yourself off them,
it can fry your brain. As well. And if you're my mate had a really bad experience. Like it shifted his entire. So he got depressed. Then the doctor gave him medications. He started taking the meds, and then decided like, well, I haven't tried anything else for depression. I haven't tried exercise or being more social or you know, like all the stuff that you should try and exhaust first before you go to medications. So he did the thing of just dumping them. And he said it just fried his brain. Like he went from being like a super heavyweight drinker to like getting drunk off of one beer. His whole personality like shifted as well.
That's interesting.
But in the long term, it was better for him to get off the meds than to be on them forever.
Have you been in a situation where you've been off the mental health medication?
Me? No. I don't think my opinion, like I said, I think you should always exhaust every other
option
before you get to something that you can't change.
I was pretty.
That's the same thing with patients as well. At work, I always recommend they try to avoid, like if that's what they want, try to avoid you know, the last case, you know, break glass in case of emergency intervention before we cross that bridge.
Yeah. Well, I think you should learn to develop the skills to cope
without just like numbing your brain forever.
Like they can help you, but like also like you've got to be able to figure out solutions by yourself. That's the issue with like some mental health medications and like treatments, is that like you're making a client reliant upon a substance and not actually teaching them skills to cope. But definitely that's a whole other can of fish.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But yeah, I'm no expert in, you know, in medications for the side, and doctor just said, you know, I was playing footy at the time in pre-season. It probably just kicked off, and I'm talking back 2016, early 2016. So I would have been 18 just after. Also, like, I went through like a pretty bad like situationship with a chick who it was like, I don't know, it's like corny to say, but it's like the first person that you like fully commit to. Yeah. And then shit just goes on and it just ends up being fucking horrific. Yeah. Like by the end, and that's how it was. And then I was like, okay, I actually took myself to the hospital, and I was like crying to the nurse at the desk, and I was just like, I'm not okay. And she was like, okay, no worries. And then from there, I talked to a psychologist, and I think he gave me like 2 Valium, like one to have at the hospital, or maybe when I got home. Maybe I had I think one to calm me down. And then he said, and spoke to him and said, let's book an appointment with your doctor, like your GP. And I was like, yep, no worries, let's do that. Went home, spoke to mum, and I messaged her and said, I'm okay, I'm at the hospital, don't come like and see me, I'm okay. Yeah. Not feeling the best, I'll be home soon. And then I got home and I took the other Valium, so I drove home. After I think I took one of the Valium, drove home, took another one as per the doctor recommended or whatever. Yeah. Took it, went home, had a sleep, had like a big ass like couple of hour chat with mum and my stepdad just about everything, and came clean with everything that was going on. I think like 2 days before I took like a bunch of like just medications that I found in the cupboard, just took a bunch of them. Yeah. Like it would have been like Panadol and just like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we tried OD.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, tried to, and woke up, went home, I went to work, vomited everywhere. Like I was really sick, obviously. And then went home, and then went drinking that night. I think the Saturday had a fight with this chick, and then we cut communication from each other. Sunday, then the Sunday I went to the hospital and had the Monday off work as well, and Sunday went to the hospital and said that I wasn't okay, and then come Monday I sort of tried to sort everything out, and then pre-season started like the Tuesday or the Thursday, so I went to that, and then had a couple more meetings with the doctor and the counselling and stuff like that at Headspace in Bathurst, and just continued that and felt really good, and hadn't really been super depressed or anything like that ever since, really. Like never that bad. I'd say I've had a lot of different coping skills since then, and had to deal with all the other things, and from there I just felt like that was the best way to do it, and now I'm here, and I don't regret doing what I did, in the fact that it shaped me who I am now. Yeah. And gave me some different skills.
What were your support groups like back then? Did you have good friends that would support you through that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So I told them what happened, and most of them drove. Like most of my friends lived like 40 minutes away. So they drove, like 3 or 4 of them drove, and we went out and had dinner, and then went like at Bathurst, like you could drive around like the mount, like the racetrack there.
Yeah.
So like often people would just go up to the top of the mountain. There's like a playground and shit up there.
Yeah.
So we just like went up there and like had pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
Had like a bunch of pizza and just chatted and, you know, just had a chat to them about what was going on and why it was going on and things like that. And they were super supportive. And they were like, they didn't realise what was going on at first, because I didn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
But since then, like I've learned to like open up more, and you know, everyone at the footy club at the time supported me. At the time, I was just, you know, in that weird space, and like the coach offered me like a place to stay if I needed to crash on his couch or something like that. Even though I had like my parents' place that I was staying at, he offered me. You know, he said that like, you know, you couldn't stay there, then you know, you can crash on the couch and stuff like that, which shows character to who he is. You know, and things like that, and you know, what you want as a friend and as a coach as well, like as someone that you can console in and things like that. And I think that's like a really good quality to have.
Yeah. And
have that empathy and sympathy and things like that of people and for people. And it's like appreciated all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's underappreciated sometimes. You know, I'm not one to, you know, say to someone, oh, you know, I'll blame it on, you know, my mental health, or I'll blame it on this. Like, you know, I take responsibility for all of my actions, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's not like a borderline personality. You're fine.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's not like me saying, oh, I did this because I was feeling this way, or you know, like, you know, you see a lot of people, especially when it comes to all this stuff over in America, like, you know, they're like, oh, I'll play the mentally ill sort of like card, and things like that, and it's just like, that's not me. Like, you know, you got to man up to what you do, and what you have. Like, you know, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, but I was thinking of this. Well, no, like that's not true. Like, you know, you gotta be a man sometime, and I think
gotta be honest.
Yeah, gotta be honest with not just yourself, but with everyone around you. And I think doing all the personal development, especially through the school, we worked on programs called, like, there's one called Relate, which is like reframing learning and teaching education or something like that. And the guy that runs it's really awesome, and it talks about like trauma and things like that. And one of the things was, what's a goal for you? And I stood up in front of like all of my teaching peers and all of my colleagues and said that, like, you know, goal of mine is to, you know, become a teacher. And he said, what's stopping you from, what would be something that would stop you from doing that? And I said myself, me telling myself I can't do it because of whatever reason. You know, me giving in when the going gets tough because that's the easy way. Sticking with it because you want to stick with it. That's what you want to do. And I think a lot of people were like taken back by that, because I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. I wouldn't sugarcoat anything. I wouldn't try and I don't know, be fake. Like, you got to be honest all the time and just be upfront and honest about everything and to everyone. Obviously choose who you want to be honest to. It's probably this is the bigger thing, instead of, you know, being by telling everyone your life story. You know, pick and choose. I mean, although this is probably going to be out to the world in like
to the two people that listen to it.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. So
actually,
we become super famous.
Actually, we're up by 616% 2 days ago.
Let's go.
Shit, let's go.
That's only like 6 more people or something watching.
Let's go, Matt.
That's downloads though. We're getting a few downloads.
Okay.
So do you think
people are downloading and wanting to listen to us.
I know.
Either that they're downloading it to use it against us later.
Yeah.
we had stuff we've said on the podcast and they're going to like use it in 10 years.
Yeah, we had one dude download it in Egypt, so like we're reaching, someone's using a VPN. I just want to believe someone in Egypt and Cairo's listening to us.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'll go to Egypt.
Just to meet them, yeah. Once
we'll have like a fan meetup with just him.
Yeah. Yeah! I've got to get a Patreon so I can afford that sort of stuff.
Make them pay us for us to come to them on holiday.
For the meme. Like, who wouldn't pay for the meme?
Meet you at the pyramids, bro.
So do you think... So what characteristics have changed from when you were 18 to you are now? Like, what's the difference between Kyle from there to now?
Oh, Kyle when he was 18 to Kyle when he was 25. I think I thought that I wanted to be who I think I wanted to like be 25 when I was 18 and wanted to, you know, I think characteristic wise, I think that some have stayed with me, like determination, like that grit that you can't, you know, the courage is probably another one that's developed. I think just realising that you don't have to be a shit bloke.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a shithead. You know, to other people, you know, treat everyone, no matter who they are, with respect, and don't be that dickhead at every party or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, keep it cool, be responsible, don't be really stupid in your decisions.
Don't be a cunt would be a...
Yeah. I remember watching like a comedian who... I was up in Queensland in like 2016, 2017, and my uncle and I went, and his name's Harley Breen. He's like him. I think he lives in Melbourne. Has like a radio show, and whatnot. Really funny bloke. But he said, "Trust your gut and don't be a cunt."
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that doesn't resonate with like everyone, then I don't know what will. Like, you know, don't be a cunt and just trust your instinct, because at the end of the day, your instinct is probably right.
Yeah. Like
your gut feeling's usually the right way to go. So if it's not, then shit happens. But most of the time, it's the right way to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I think that if you don't grow and you don't develop in yourself, then you're not growing. You're not developing. You know, you're just going to be stagnant. You're going to be doing the same shit every day, and you don't want that.
So, what do you want to see Kyle like in 5 years' time from now?
I'll be 30. Fuck. Just happy, honestly. Like, just doing what he wants to do. And I think, realistically, the first step in that is going to Canada. Yeah. You know, not just be, like, not drop being 60 or 50 and be like, you know, having kids and grandkids and be like, oh, you know, I wish I did this. Wish I did that. I wish I saw this. I wish I, you know, wasn't working so much. I wish I could do this. You know, I don't want to be that person. I think I just want to be happy with what I'm doing. You know, because that's all that matters is my own personal happiness. Because I'm the one that lives my life. No one else lives it for me. And you live it to your own extent. You know, if you don't want to do anything, that's fine. But if you want to do something, don't be scared and just do it. Yeah. You know, just Nike that shit, man. Nike that shit. You might end up working for Nike in Canada. Shit, let's go. There's a couple of jobs going at like EA, like Electronic Arts, working on like FIFA. I'm like, that would be alright. That'd be an interesting gig for sure. Yeah, I reckon. You know, just put in some random shit. Who knows? Thank you for sharing that. It was interesting to think about. Do you want to go to a conspiracy corner? Conspiracy corner in some episodes. What is your one conspiracy that you, or what people would consider a conspiracy that you would
that you think that you believe in. So like one thing that,
I mean,
if you were to like come out and say people were like, oh no, you're whack, that you believe in.
I don't know. Like, I mean, most of the conspiracies I look at are like, I don't know, more the ones that are in pop culture. You know, like you got like 9/11.
Oh, like yeah, like the mainstream, like aliens and Sasquatches.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't say like Sasquatches and shit like that. I mean, like,
how dare you? Bigfoot's real.
It's the evidence is there. No, I'd say like 9/11. The moon landing is always one that's always fun.
Yeah.
So do you believe the moon landing was fake or real?
I don't know what to believe. Like, I wasn't around then.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I mean, I guess I would say it's real. But then again, a lot of people were like, no, it's not real. But
during the space race.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of...
faked so many, like, what was it, 6 moon missions?
Something.
They faked.
But we've got
and
so
then
many...
there's no footage, Matt.
Didn't we get so much technology?
They've lost the footage of the moon landing, like the original tapes.
Yeah, wasn't it because of the radiation coming in?
No, they taped over them.
Ah.
So there was the issue of the going through the radiation belts of like whatever it is, when you're coming back, it like fries all the footage.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, how is it that this one footage survived when all the other ones are all dicey?
Yeah.
So then they've lost all the like the tapes because there was a shortage on the particular space tape, and they taped over it with some like you taped over the moon landing.
With like some sex tape.
like what's more important than the moon landing? You couldn't go, oh, we just won't record this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't find something else, like all the other stuff that fucked up.
Oh god. Maybe the moon landing is fake.
Maybe. Like we gone
maybe
back.
we haven't got a
Like,
robot on Mars.
No, we probably have a rover on Mars, but
You sure?
what about yeah, because you can probably see it driving around.
How do you know it's not like photos from like Broken Hill that is out there?
Well, let's be
You come
honest,
out of the
like...
Silverton pub one night, and just like you're like, fuck's sake.
And all the Broken Hill residents are in on it.
But like, I mean, technology has come so far as well.
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we gone back?
Yeah, the answer is always like,
Why haven't we gone back?
oh, because what's the point?
Because
It's like, what was the point back then?
yeah.
Like, the whole point is that stuff like that, like the space race and wars, and it breeds innovation and technology.
Yeah.
Like
Technology.
The space race gave us most of the tech that we have now, like cell phones and all of that.
Yeah.
Can you give us Bluetooth? Because Australia made that.
Yeah. Harold Bluetooth, the Viking.
Yes, sir. The goat.
The OG.
Yeah. 9/11.
Yeah.
That's another one.
So what aspect of the 9/11 conspiracy are we talking about here?
Do you believe that it was an inside job?
And do you believe jet fuel can melt steel beams?
The what?
Wasn't that part of the conspiracy?
So, okay, that's a sort of... Another part is that, like, it was a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
Then there's the other part of the government, like, setting up Al-Qaeda and paying off and creating, the Taliban and everything, and then how that really created 9/11. And then there's another conspiracy about the government was actually dressed up as terrorists, and they were the ones that took over the planes, and yeah.
I mean, there's evidence both sides. I mean, from what I've researched, which is very minimal, there's like research that depicts that it wasn't just like a plane crash, but then sometimes the other evidence is like, oh well, this is because of that. And I mean, if you look at like when they ran into the Pentagon, why didn't it? Why was it only that particular part or whatever it was, and why didn't it create this big explosion or whatever it was? And yeah, I don't know. And then wasn't there like files or something burnt in that wing that it was crashed or something like that?
Well, isn't it interesting that I might not be 100% on this, but they had just found out that the government was missing like $2.5 trillion before 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the American that it was missing, and then all of a sudden like the files are like gone and destroyed, and we don't know where they are after 9/11, and because there was like 9/11, the war's happening, it all got swept under the rug. The government's in control now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting brain teaser.
It is.
It's an interesting. There's always shady shit going on.
It doesn't keep me up at night, which is good.
Well, it happened like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 97, so I would have been like 5.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I mean, obviously the planes did crash into the building regardless. Like, I mean, there's footage of that happening.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can literally see that happening.
The plane crashing in there.
But
Wouldn't it be more tragic? People say, like, don't talk about 9/11 as a conspiracy because it, like, desecrates the, like, graves of the dead.
Well, it doesn't. It just desecrates the government.
But, like, how tragic is it that all those people died?
For nothing.
And, like, all the firefighters and the, like, police officers going, like,
all
running into the building and getting cancer and all this stuff because they thought that they were fighting for, like, the right side, but it was actually the government.
Yeah.
Like, the deep state of the government.
Isn't that always the case? It always ends up being we fight wars for other people.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened. I mean, like, look, let's be honest. Most wars have started from religion.
Yeah.
There's always, you know, look at the Crusades and things like that. It's always, most wars have always been religion based.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, yeah, you look back at the Crusades, you look at even this fight with, you know, like the Taliban and stuff like that. It's just all
it's a relief base.
Yeah. It's just all fucked.
Should we start a conspiracy about the floods happening in our town at the moment?
What?
Trying to drown us out.
The government. It's the government's conspiracy against the insurance companies. Yeah. They release the water.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that they don't have a pipeline to pipe all that water out during the floods? Like when they know that there are these like key areas that flood constantly.
Yeah.
Like over flood.
Yeah.
It's as
and
if
they still allow people to build their houses back there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the bushfires. It's like you have these houses that are built in like forests that burn down every 10 years, and they're like hidden away, and the government still allows them to build their house there. And then the whole forest is on fire, and everyone's like, "Come save us."
Yeah, it's like
you
went to the danger area. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Not just that, but like I mean the animals as well. Like I still remember. I don't know if you guys remember back like when the Black Friday bushfires were on. But I remember there was like a video or a photo of like this koala like drinking fresh, clean water out of the firefighters.
Yeah.
Did you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that photo? Yeah. But like imagine like all those animals that are susceptible to that. You know, obviously we can't save them all. It's always happened. But like, you know, I think that, I don't know, I'm not like an animal activist or anything like that, but, you know, I don't want to, you know, what's the point of seeing other animals like being hurt and things like that, especially from arsonists and things like that.
Yeah.
There's also a conspiracy that people lit those fires as well that created all the big...
Oh, you're talking about like last year?
Yeah.
Or was it the year before?
It's like 3 years ago, mate.
Yeah.
It's before coronavirus.
Yeah, it was literally
2019.
Yeah.
2019 was the Black Summer.
Because last year I went down that area where all the fires happened, and like it's still affected.
Still charred, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember like, look, I mean, government's government, but I mean, for me, ScoMo had like a really rough ride as Prime Minister. Like he took over from, who was it? Turnbull?
Yeah, Michael Turnbull. Was it?
Malcolm
Turnbull. Michael Turnbull. I really pay attention to Australian
politics.
Yeah.
We pay attention to America more. But he literally, like, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm in support of him or I agree with what he did, but he had the bushfires, he had to deal with COVID, the bushfires, flooding, couple other things as well.
The mega churches.
Yeah, there's just like a bunch of
mega
different
churches.
Bunch of different shit that he had to deal with
Matt
as Prime
hates
Minister.
the churches.
Hate churches.
No.
Yeah, Matt hates
I like
religion.
churches. I don't hate religion. I just don't like what some people are like in religion.
Oh, I remember going on a school camp this year and going to a particular church. I'm not going to name what church it was because I'll probably get in trouble. Not like it matters because I'm out of there in like 3 months. No, but I went to this church and the priest there, he said,
you're all going to hell.
no, he said one of the children asked, they're in grade 5, so they're like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, they just ask questions just to ask questions because they're kids, and they were like talking about they said something about Buddha.
Yeah.
And the Buddha statue and whatever, and the priest is like, said, something about religion, and they're all just a cult, and Catholicism is the right one, and don't get me started on the Islamic.
The Muslims.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And I said to one of the teachers, I said, is it bad time for me to say that I'm Muslim? Obviously, I'm not, but I'm saying that, like, as a joke, obviously a joke. To like the other teachers, we just were like, what the hell? What the fuck?
I really want to get a radical priest on this podcast one day.
Mate, get him on. Oh,
that'd be fun.
Isn't it funny how they all think that they're like the right one?
Yeah. Whereas if you look at, like, I remember doing...
It's like conspiracy mind.
Yeah. It really is. Like, I remember doing religion in high school, and, like, I'm not saying that Islam and Christianity are the same, but they follow one person. They have the one God.
They're very similar.
Yeah. Like
especially old school Islam, and not even old. There's no such thing as old school Islam. It's the only faith that really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that I actually have a huge respect for Muslims in terms of, like,
still bad.
Because when you look at, like, some modern Christians, it's so, like, you don't have to commit at all to being a Christian. You can kind of just do whatever you want
to be like
and say,
Muslim.
I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, because old school Christianity wasn't like that at all. It was very much like Islam.
Yeah.
It's very, you have to commit
if you go
100% all the time. It's like a code for living your life.
Yeah. If you go to one of those countries that have a Muslim, they literally have like sirens when they have to pray,
and you have to pray in the morning.
That's
3
how
times a day.
Yeah, that's how you do it. There's footy players especially in rugby league, not so much AFL, mainly in rugby league, that have turned to being being Muslim and things like that, and they'll pray when they have to pray, and they have to be given that.
What was the Richmond football player that was like
Ramadan?
Yeah, he played during Ramadan. He wouldn't be able to eat during the day. And then rock up at football.
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah,
he's another one. He's a UFC champion. Don't think he's the GOAT. That's
a whole other discussion we'll have to talk about.
That's my opinion.
I think it's because he's selective of who he fought, or
yeah.
Okay.
I purely on the opposition he faced.
But then again, who didn't he beat?
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, that's
like in the end, who didn't he run through?
Yeah.
I agreed too at the start, but then it's like by the end of his career, he'd beaten everyone. Like Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But then he'd run through the whole.
McGregor was coming off like a 3-year layoff and having one boxing match with Floyd Mayweather, that was it.
And then he had to go up a weight class for Khabib, didn't he?
Yeah, but then he also lost to Dustin Poirier. Yeah. The same thing. Like, he doesn't do himself any favours.
No, but I mean...
Like, that's the same excuse he's used forever.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like, he had to, during Ramadan, couldn't eat and things like that.
And still train.
Be a champion. Don't get me wrong, he is a great fighter.
He would kick all our asses.
And he came out and said one of the things that I thought was interesting when he was talking about recovery, and he said that he used to sleep all day during training. So he'd get up and he'd train so hard he'd have to sleep for 3 hours after, and then wake up and then train, then go back to bed for 3 hours, then train, then go to bed that night.
Yeah, that's what strong men do too. They train and sleep.
Yeah, they sleep during the day. That's their recovery.
Yeah.
Gee, so they you train, eat, sleep.
Yeah.
That's what I did today. I trained and I slept.
Yeah, like wake up in the morning, train really hard for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Then go home, eat, and then sleep. Or if during Ramadan, don't eat. No. Just sleep. Sleep it off.
Yeah.
Because they can eat at night, can't they? Or?
Yeah, so when the sun rises, they can't eat.
Yeah.
Just before the
sun.
It's
it's like 6 to 6 or whatever it is. Like,
which is easy for here. Apparently, like over in the Middle East, because it's obviously like the opposite to us.
Yeah.
When we've got the short days here, where we're like it's dark at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're like it's daylight savings over there, and it's.
What time is it now?
9 o'clock at night, 9:30.
What time is it now? Like 7:30?
Now?
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And the sun's still up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Like, that's... So I mean, I'd hate to be doing Ramadan right now, but
it'd be a bit peckish.
But I mean, like,
but that's what it's like, for them over in the Middle East. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, imagine being like Antarctica or something like that, where it's like
the sun all the time.
6 months.
Or like, where is it? Like in like Finland or
it's like sun for 6 months. And
there's some places in the world where it's like sunny for 23.5 hours a day. If you're doing Ramadan,
if you're within a certain area of the Arctic Circle, the Antarctic area, you're gonna face that because you're at that point of the Earth where the sun's position's gonna be like that.
Yeah, but surely, I mean, obviously people that would do Ramadan and things like that wouldn't actually be in that part of the world.
Yeah,
you would think. I mean.
But
imagine. I mean,
it's a big commitment.
You have to eat to survive. It's what you fuel yourself. Like it's fuel.
Yeah.
Food is fuel.
You'd have like ultimate metabolic adaptations though. You're like fasting and training.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like running on different metabolic.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy to do.
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing like 24-hour fasts and like 72-hour fasts, and like they say that they feel like they go from things like McDonald's and KFC and like sugars and like processed sugars just being normal part, and they can't eat it anymore because it's just too full on.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of fasting for 24 hours, then you get to eat your first.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
I fasted for 3 days. I just get delirious.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to fast a lot, but like I just got to the point where I just felt delirious. Probably wasn't too healthy.
I mean, like, are you drinking anything? You obviously
water and black coffee. That's all I had for the 3 days.
Like Yuri Prohaska locked himself in a room for 3 days.
Yeah.
And fasted.
Yeah.
With just water. And just meditated.
Yeah.
And he's like, you start like...
He would have seen shit.
No, he said he's like, you start hallucinating, you start hearing things, you go on like this wild trip within your brain. Yeah. It's like a natural way to like unlock DMT. Yeah. So did you fast for 3 days?
Yeah, I fasted and worked and exercised and...
For 3 days?
Yeah. It was pretty shit.
You're a madman, Matt.
How did you find that mentally though? Like, so like with, because obviously being like a mental health nurse or being a nurse in general, you'd have to be pretty switched on.
So when this is before I was doing nursing, so this is when I was studying, working at a cafe.
Oh, so that'll be even harder because you're working with
food. No, but when I first because I used to be pretty. I wasn't heavy. Like the heaviest I got was 100 kilos, and I was like losing weight, so I was fast.
must be fucking nice.
So I was fasting and stuff quite a bit for like weight loss, and then I just started like seeing. I'll see what like 2 days is like. Then I'll see what 3 days is like. Like after the first day, you're fine. Like you essentially have no sensation of hunger at all.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel hungry one bit. Like it's only when I start eating again I feel hungry.
I've been like that at work. Like when I worked in ED, it'd be like 7 hours. You haven't eaten or drinking anything, and like you're so hungry, the hunger just goes away, and you're like almost. Yeah. You know when you get like, you feel a bit tingly or like you almost get cold for a second, and it's like you're almost running off of adrenaline. Yeah. You're not eating anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, you have to get past that point where you're really hungry and it just goes away anyway. Because ghrelin is the hunger signal and eventually just peaks and troughs, and then all of a sudden it's kind of...
Yeah, I guess it's more like a mental game as well.
Yeah.
Like, But like, how were you training often as well? Like, I mean, were you training like you're training now?
Kind of, yeah, similar. Like I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was doing my running. Like, but I wasn't doing a lot of strength training stuff, not a lot of resistance, because like, in my mind, I was like, I'm fasting, and if I do strength training, my recovery's going to be affected. I'm going to be, because like...
Because you're going to be sore, you're not eating protein, you're not getting in your normal
nutrients, especially if I was training heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas cardio, like, of course you're doing like... But I wasn't doing like a marathon. I was doing like, 5Ks. And then I was doing jiu-jitsu, where like, jiu-jitsu can be quite strenuous, but like, with the point I was at with jiu-jitsu, like, I wasn't really going hard most of those sessions when I was doing it, and I was also working, which is just was walking.
Yeah.
But that's probably why I felt delirious, is because I was doing a lot of physical activity, cardiovascular activity, and also like not having anything in.
Yeah.
But generally when I commit to something, I'll commit all the way. Like if I have a goal in mind, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of,
it
sucks.
I used to do fasting. I used to fast, I think it was 16 and 8. 16 off 8 hours of feasting or feeding. Yeah. But I used to so I think I did it worked really well with my first disability job at Viva. It worked quite well because I'd fast from, I think I'd do 12 to 8. It was my feasting period or whatever it was. And then, from 8 o'clock I couldn't eat anything until midday, till lunchtime, which helped. But I'd have like, my first meal would be like chicken, or it'd be like steak, or it'd be, something really really decent nutrients.
Yeah.
Like, veggies and, bit of carbs, bit of protein as well.
Yeah.
And I wasn't eating as much, and I felt that I wasn't actually that hungry because what I was eating was nutrient enough.
Yeah.
It was giving me enough nutrients, and I was training as well. I was training once a day, if not sometimes twice a day, depending on what days it was.
Yeah.
Which was good. At like a strength and conditioning gym, which was really cool. And like sometimes I'd do like just be on the bike for however long, like the assault bike, and go for like 20 minutes for max calories or max meters or whatever. So
there's heaps of athletes that do fasting with their training. Like there's Rich Froning, who's like one of the OGs of CrossFit, one of the CrossFit champions. He does intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
so
I found it was cool. I guess it just depends who you are and what your goals are
and what works for you.
Yeah. I remember listening to a Joe Rogan podcast with what was his name? I think his name was Peter Attia.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about longevity dude.
Yeah. And he was saying like sometimes he said that he fasts, but it's more for convenience.
Yeah.
Because he's so busy.
Yeah.
It's
not too long.
Yeah. So he did it for convenience, whereas like some of us might not do it for convenience. Like some of us do it for like a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking about getting back into it, but it's really difficult working 2 jobs now and things like that. And I just find really difficult to.
Well, it depends what your goals are. Like, is it like and it depends, like you were saying.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. Like, if you've tried you'd be a bit difficult for fasting because you have your thingy. Yeah. Your thingy. Depends if you want to talk about it.
Oh, my thingy. Yeah, I have a rare disease where I don't make the right amount of enzyme that turns fat into energy. So I essentially can't like burn fat as well. So I normally can, which is bad because like I don't know. I haven't tested, but I've gone like I used to do intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Like 16 hours.
Yeah, well that's fine.
But I haven't pushed it that hard. But I felt like shit all the time. Like super tired and super drained. Yeah. It's sort of like diabetes where you don't eat. Yeah. Your blood sugar plummets, but worse.
Because your glycogen stores are like, it's like 12 hours once they're fully gone. Depends how active you are, but like 16 to 12 hours or something like that. Yeah, then you have like all your sugar's gone, then you're back on, then you just rely on ketones. And if you haven't got the enzymes to convert fat into ketones, I don't know.
Should be right, mate.
Should be right.
Yeah.
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 That'd be rough. They gotta fucking shut the fuck up. That's right.
Damn work. I blame you, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking.
It's not even work.
Yeah, no, it's Fergs and Redmond.
Yeah, I can't go.
I don't think I can either. Yeah. No, I don't know if I'll get back into fasting anytime soon. Oh, well, I might. It just depends. Like, at the moment, my goal is I've ramped up my training slowly over the years, and my training just keeps increasing, and all my activity increases. So like, I don't think fasting will be beneficial for me, especially when I'm trying to put on more weight.
Yeah, definitely. It's not. Yeah, it's more like a weight loss. Thing. I also found like everyone that wants to lose weight always just go straight to keto.
Yeah.
Which for some people it's fine, but then again for like the only reason it works is because it cuts out sugars and carbs.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, like
Yeah, well, because it cuts out all the crap that people eat.
Yeah.
Like, and you replace it with like clean, lean meat and like avocado.
And butter.
And butter.
And milk.
Yeah. It's like kind of like, where do you go wrong?
Yeah.
If you can't like eat chips and potatoes and like lollies and like all that kind of stuff that's like very easy to blow your diet with, as opposed to a regular diet. I just don't think it's very. I don't see many people. There are people, but I haven't seen many people that can do it for like 12 months, 2 years. or forever and the problem is then they go back to their regular diet and they have no skills.
And then they blow up even worse because
they're rebounding from what they've been abstaining from.
Yeah.
But not only that, they actually haven't built any skills to properly diet.
Because ketosis is basically starvation. Like in that point of starvation, you're forcing it, and being in that long period of time is not good.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say, I can't remember. With that, the ketogenic diet's good from a sport standpoint if you're talking in regards to endurance athletes.
Yeah.
Because you can develop metabolic flexibility. So if you, let's say you spend 12 months on the keto diet and you've adjusted to it and you can actually utilize ketones efficiently, and then you switch in between, let's say if you're going to have a big run, you'll store up on your carbs for 2 days or whatever, how many days before, and you do have your big running event, you'll actually be able to, when you do your running event, you can also utilize your ketone stores rather than more efficiently than you would if you didn't do the ketogenic diet, if that makes sense. So you'll have a different, you'll be running, you run glycogen, glucose is gone, switch to ketosis, and then you're actually still efficient as you're doing your endurance event.
Yeah.
I understand that from a sports standpoint, there's actually some use to it.
Pretty sure Darren Till did the ketogenic diet for a little bit.
I don't know who that is.
Darren Till.
Who's that?
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
He fought
he's a fighter, mate. He's a
UFC fighter.
English fighter.
He's from Liverpool, mate. He's a Scouse.
He's a Scouse.
Darren Till.
Got banned from the internet because he's a
He's a fucking madman. He's the funniest guy ever. Sweet Caroline is his walkout.
You'll see his face.
He fought.
I know the face.
He was supposed to be the next big thing.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight. He's fought Woodley.
Yeah, he's a bit of a
controversial. He's
a
always
bit
been
of a flog. He's a bit of a. Yeah. He hangs out with Hamza.
Yeah, he's Hamza's training partner.
Yeah.
Who is but he's actually he's a heavy boy as well. He used to fight at 170.
Yeah.
Now he fought at 185, and I reckon he missed weight or.
Who? Darren Till.
At 185.
I don't know about Darren Till.
I
think he's another hype train.
Yeah.
Too much hype, not enough time in the gym.
Yeah.
Not enough time developing skills, and then they get put into a bad position where they have to fight someone like Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
When he's the champion, gets beaten.
He got knocked out by Jorge Masvidal, and when Jorge Masvidal fought Leon Edwards in the back, he was the main event with Jorge Masvidal when he got knocked out by him.
Okay.
Yeah, just
that was in 2019 February.
Yeah, probably back then.
I was in Queensland.
Yeah, I don't know what he's done since. Who did he fight at middleweight?
He fought Kelvin Gastelum it was like a big. I don't think
there was someone since. Hasn't he fought and he got beaten?
Yeah,
I think he got some.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker.
No. There's who was his last fight?
It was Whittaker because he busted his knee. I'm sure.
We're gonna have to do our own fight companion episodes.
Yeah, I think so. I just love it.
Is he fighting again?
He should be.
He's 18-4, 1 draw, 1.
So he's lost to Woodley, to Masvidal.
Next, Darren Till versus Duplessis.
Oh yeah, Duplessis.
December 10th on the Prohaska Tashiro 2 card. He fought Derek Brunson.
That's it.
And he got submitted. Then before that, he fought Whittaker, lost by unanimous decision.
Fought
Gastelum, won by split decision.
What was that card? It was in New York or something like that. I'm sure.
Gastelum was Masvidal.
That was Diaz versus Masvidal for the BMF. That's right. It was a massive card.
Lost to Masvidal, lost to Woodley. Before that, he'd beaten Wonderboy.
Yeah. He was on a massive
Cowboy.
He was on a decent tear at 170, and then lost to Woodley. And then he's basically lost ever since. Yeah. He's lost since that.
I think he's just another, like I said, another person he's lost 4 of the last 5. I think he was just another person who was super young, set to take over but not really ready. And then it's kind of been excuses ever since. And I was like, I need to change weight, and then got beaten changing weight.
Well, he's lost 4 in a row now.
No, 4 of the last 5.
Who did he?
So he beat Gastelum.
Did he?
By split decision.
Oh yeah, that's right. Although I think Gastelum actually won that fight. I'm pretty sure.
Are you going to do a tournament anytime soon?
Me?
Yeah.
Matt, I have no stripes. I told you, we've been over this.
I really want you to go.
But I'm a 4-stripe white belt.
Yeah.
I want to get to the point where I'm good enough that I'm not going to get injured.
Okay, cool.
Because from what I've seen,
tournaments
are just like autistic fucking like people, especially white. You talk about a white belt tournament.
Yeah.
Like even like purple belt, brown belt, you see them when they compete. It's just like injury city.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going like 1,000%, like especially in the age of like heel hooks and like people are going 1,000,000% trying to like fuck your shit up. I'd rather get to 4-stripe. Know what I'm talking about so that I can not get injured, so I can actually go in and try and win.
Because we're going to say there's a comp in January.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
In Adelaide.
The one person that I love listening to in like a podcast or like obtaining content from is the fight dietitian, Geordie Sullivan.
Yeah, we spoke about that last time.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's the dietitian for Izzy, Alex Volkanovski.
Izzy has a fight this week, doesn't he?
Yeah, he fights on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's Jan Hooker, Carlos Olberg, Brad Riddell.
I wish I could make that. Got work until 4. Should still be on by then.
Nah, it's in New York.
Because it starts at 2:30.
Does it?
Yeah. I think I saw it. The main card starts at 2 p.m.
Oh, that's not too bad then. So yeah, and it's like there's like 2 belts on the line. There's obviously Izzy against Pereira, who he got knocked out by in kickboxing, which will be interesting.
Sunday, yeah.
We should watch it. I've got Sunday off.
I wanted to watch it.
It'll be during the day.
We've got the Michael Chandler, one of my favourites.
Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier.
Michael Chandler's like my favourite fighter.
Really?
We could probably watch it here if Jono's not working. We can always create good audience players. I got
Get it, Jono's.
I'll have to pay for it on KO, wouldn't I?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
We could just split it.
Yeah, we could just do that.
What time it starts? 2 p.m. Sunday.
That's the main card, yeah. I've got UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah, we got Dan Hooker. So, hold on, I'll go to the prelims, see if there's anyone good on the prelims.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Dominic Reyes on the prelims.
Yeah. He's a hype train that got derailed pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think he's lost. Ever since he fought John Jones, he's lost.
Yeah.
We've got Dan Hooker fighting, I have no idea, but Claudio Wallace. We've got Frankie Yeager fighting Chris Gutierrez, Poirier and Chandler. Weili Zhang fights Carlos Esparza, and then you've got Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, whose only credibility is that he knocked out Izzy once, 10 years ago.
And Izzy was actually piecing him up in the earlier rounds of that fight.
Yeah.
And Izzy just made a mistake.
Yeah.
If you actually watch the fight, because everyone's like, oh, he knocked him out. But if you actually look at the actual two, they fought twice and Izzy's lost twice.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out once and decision was the other one, I'm pretty sure, in kickboxing, like K1. But in that knockout one, like Izzy, I think, was actually winning.
Yeah.
I would have given rounds to Izzy.
I like how you shifted that. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys watch One Champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, is it still free on YouTube?
What? Yeah, some of the events, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you watch it?
No.
It's like another UFC Bellator sort of thing.
It's like one championship, so...
That one, they've got like some spastic, like
they've got
they do some MMA and then they do some BJJ,
yeah,
some kickboxing.
The jiu-jitsu fights are cool to watch.
They had Mikey Mizumeki,
versus Imanari.
Yeah.
Sushi roll.
Yeah. Imanari sushi roll.
Yeah.
Race Lightning is an Australian that fights for them.
Yeah.
I think he fights like flyweight, bantamweight, something like that.
The Muay Thai, like the stand-up fighting, that is insane.
Yeah.
Some of the fighters there are pretty impressive.
They do MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
BJJ. They do and I remember in the Demetrius Johnson fight, I'm pretty sure they did like 2 rounds of like kickboxing and 1 round of MMA.
Yeah, they did like 1 round. It'd be like the first round was Muay Thai, and then the next one was MMA, and then the next one was
Which and he was fighting. It was Demetrius Johnson, who everyone should know is like an MMA goat.
Yeah.
Like one of the best to fight at flyweight. Versus someone that is like a kickboxer or a Muay Thai or something like that. So the first round was always going to be in the Muay Thai favour, but the second round, if it's MMA, Demetrius Johnson has a flying armbar. Like he just has, his grappling is just insane.
Is that the one where he does like a takedown into a flying armbar?
Yeah, like he'll grab him and just grab the arm and just.
That was like mid-air, like
armbar.
Yeah, I remember seeing
that. UFC,
That's really skilled. That's an insane skill. Have you seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he does a takedown, he transitions to the armbar straight away.
Midway through.
Yeah,
like to
insane.
have that like awareness.
Yeah.
And to do that, not like, it's one thing to do it like in training.
Yeah.
If you're like training with like a white belt and you're a black belt and you're just fucking around.
Yeah.
It's another thing to
doing
do
it
it
at the
against
elite
like
level.
another elite UFC fighter.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
And to like, as well, mentally, you're going to take someone down and then just go,
Fuck
I'm
it.
just going to give up the position and go for the armbar.
Yeah.
So this is where you should like cut like a scene and like have it like in a corner or something like that, or like the podcast and just like,
I need a Jamie moment.
yeah, you really do. You need someone to like for us to look at it, two to like have it on the screen so then we could watch it all, and like you could watch it and all the viewers could watch it as well.
I actually have a PayPal I haven't set up yet that I can use for the podcast. So if you guys are willing to support, leave in the comments, please.
I will not allow Matt to accept money from our viewers.
But they have to support us so we can actually bring in more quality content. Do you want Andrew Tate on this podcast or not?
Fuck.
I want to get the top G on the podcast.
The top G. Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'd love to have Joe Rogan on you. that'd be like goals. Just like, how the fuck is this like this tiny Mudjura podcast making it all the way to the big smoke?
Yeah.
We're gonna clip that audio in like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know,
play it over.
To like
we'll
Joe
be in
Rogan
Texas
60.
in his studio.
Didn't he sign like it's $100 million, is it 10-year deal? Or is it 5-year deal?
I don't know.
His Spotify deal.
Yeah, Spotify.
That's pretty crazy considering he's already done like 1,600 episodes or something like that.
I think he loves what he's doing.
But
then like he could just be like, don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, he probably could. He's got money where he can just do that.
Yeah, but they'd still be paying him. He could just like show up and
there'd be something in his clause that would have to be like you have to do a certain amount of. I mean, he would still be bumping out the same amount of episodes per week, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting for him, like just to talk, like hearing him talk about like all the experiences. Him talking about fighting is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like obviously him being a commentator is even cool.
Yeah.
That's like sick.
I've always really appreciated the way he can like interview people. I think that's the big success. When you talk about Joe Rogan, is he super interesting? Kind of, but there's probably more interesting or successful people out there. Is he super successful in like BJJ or MMA world? Not really, but he's like,
he's still a black belt.
He's high level, but he's not like world champion.
Yeah.
But it's his way that he goes about talking to people.
Yeah.
He can get people to talk for hours.
And like he talks
with
like,
someone he doesn't know, just like sit down
Yeah.
and he can interview them and make it sound super interesting to where you're glued to it, and then the way that he can relate it back to his experiences and then use that to get more out of the person.
Yeah.
That's where these...
Yeah. He also has access to like really interesting people in general as well.
Oh yeah, just yeah.
Like he has access to physicists. Like you can talk for hours with a physicist.
And it seems like he knows...
Well, Lex Friedman's similar too, as you're saying, sorry.
Like he seems to know like a lot of... Just like a lot... Even if he's talking to like a physicist or a doctor of whatever, like he seems to just know what to talk about and how to talk about it. Like he's got great conversational skills. Like he talks to like Neil deGrasse Tyson about like the space and all that kind of shit. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, his ability to be able to adapt his conversation and like who he's talking to. Like he's talking to Alex Jones, and then the next thing you know, he's talking to Lex Friedman. Then he gets Elon Musk on, and his way like Elon Musk is a man of absolutely no words and all
very
actions.
Dry.
And Joe can get him to be funny and
smoke
and have a story. And
it's because he's developed that skill.
That's a talent.
He has developed that skill. It's like if you watch the early days of the podcast, it wasn't quite like that. He's definitely developed the skills.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the early days of the podcast were like him and like two other people. I think it was like
Red Band.
Yeah, is that the one with like the LED studio?
Yeah.
It's like lights around. There's like someone sitting up in the corner and like... Yeah.
No, he's definitely got a good talent for it, for sure.
And now, like, he's made it into, like... I mean, he could have just done that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Really.
That's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't think he even does UFC that as much anymore.
No, he doesn't travel in overseas or anything like that anymore. He only does pay-per-views if they're in America.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I mean...
We get Joe Rogan over here in Perth.
Yeah.
Watch UFC.
Well, he probably won't come. That's the thing. He probably won't come over.
No, he will to get on the podcast. We'll win the podcast.
We have to get this to the point.
Podcast, I'll have a sign.
No, these are the people I like. If I could, these are like the most grandiose plans. If I wanted people on my podcast, I love Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman. I'd love to have on Jocko Willink. I'd like to have a chat with.
Jocko would be cool.
I would like
I'd like to get like Alex Jones or.
Of course, I'd love to have Alex Jones on. Like that. Now those are
Alex, what's your favourite? Are you into conspiracies, man?
Yeah. Like they would be
6 hours long.
That would be goals. Like that'd be the longest. Eddie Bravo, having Eddie Bravo on and Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey Diaz, Diaz.
We'll have to get like Matt set up. We'll have to get like Matt set up at your house and have like a podcast studio, and then we could get like Jocko in, grapple, and then
then talk after. So, how does it feel that you just destroyed my neck?
So Matt's going off to the hospital.
You being twice his weight, how does it feel? Now, have you seen Jocko grapple?
Apparently, it's horrific.
It's like watching gorillas just battle each other.
Well, he is a gorilla.
He is the size of a gorilla, yes.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big, strong man.
I'm scared of people like that. People who are skilled and weigh like...
People who are out there who exist who are like that.
Yeah.
Just look at
monsters.
I don't think people realise, you know, even with road rage, people want to get out the car and like fight. Like you get out the car and then the other person just gets out and pulls out a weapon.
Yeah.
It's like, you're so fucked.
Yeah. But when you are the weapon like Jocko...
but like people like out there just exist and people don't like think about that.
Yeah.
They think it's going to be like a Marvel movie and they're going to like Captain America that shit.
Yeah. A lot of people like the same thing like in Joe Rogan's podcast, he always mentioned people think they're so like they think they're better at fighting than what they actually are.
Yeah.
Oh, always. 24/7.
I've like noticed that with jiu-jitsu, like there's always people that come in.
Yeah,
like,
even with
away.
me starting now, like again, like I thought I was super strong because I'm pretty strong in the gym.
Yeah.
But when
then you get there and you
back.
go and when you get in there, you try and grapple and you have like you're getting submitted by like tiny people.
Like Michael Musumeci. Yeah. Really skinny.
Like there's do you know the kid that comes in? He's like a spider monkey, long hair, green belt.
Oh, you're talking about Lockie.
Yeah. That dude's like I was grappling him tonight.
He's talented. Like,
he was like one of the few people that like swept me tonight.
Yeah.
It's probably I think only like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that like he could probably beat a lot of people. And I wouldn't think it at all.
He's only like 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
You
don't realise.
Yeah. He's very talented, but also cocky.
Yeah.
I love to crush him.
It'd be crazy one day.
Yeah.
When he's like a fully grown adult.
Yeah.
When he's like 25.
Yeah.
It's like Jack now, all of a sudden.
The skill level is insane. But people like that, it's really...
You don't realise.
There used to be this lady that used to come there and she's a brown belt. She was really skilled as well. She would sweep, submit, pass your guard with no issues. Or who else is a pretty horrifying grappler? Tobias, he's a black belt there and he's like super technical. Because he's very light, like he's, 69 kilo, 70 kilo dude, very technical grappler. You don't fuck around with people like that because they're just smart with the way they fight you. Yeah, they just cut angles you never think of. So.
Yeah, those are probably the worst people, I think. Like as a bigger guy in the gym, those are the worst people to grapple. Is like the small ones because they start climbing all over you like a spider monkey. You can't get them off. Yeah. And you don't have the flexibility to be able to reach back and defend where they're reaching.
Yeah.
That's hard compared to just like pressure.
Yeah.
Like a big guy just on top of you. You kind of get used to that pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
And you learn how to defend against that pretty fast.
I think there's levels to the pressure. Like let's say for example like Joe and Mick, like Mick Maloney and Joe Mamoni. Like their pressure game, like if they wanted to really put pressure on, you'd feel like you're being crushed by bricks. Like there's definitely levels to it. Like the style of like Mick's, just weight and pressure is just unbearable at times.
Yeah.
There used to
what
be
do you think about? I was going to ask this because it kind of clicked the other day when I was like complaining about getting injured at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, we're actually training how to kill people.
Yeah.
The old school version versus the new school version. So like mix old school version of like pressure passing, smashing people, submitting them that way versus the new school way of like leg locks.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the difference in terms of being able to like defend yourself? Like if you went into a gym and learned only like leg locks and sweeps and like
there's
competition tournament style versus the old school way of, because jiu-jitsu obviously originates from like a Japanese jiu-jitsu, which is what the samurai were taught how to defend themselves without, once they lose their sword, that they were to wrestle. You can't punch someone in a suit.
I think with jiu-jitsu, like the combat, like of course it depends upon the body type, but like how you mean as like how would that pressure game go with somebody who's like a technical?
Like no, I'm talking about like the difference, not just against each other, but the difference in terms of like real world application.
I think the pressure game's probably really more realistic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's more brutal to train, especially because there's less focus on flashy drills.
Yeah, and it works. It's efficient. It works. Like once you get the hang of it, like if Mick wanted to hold you down, he would hold you down. You won't be able to move. Or like that's legit jiu-jitsu. Like that's the goal is control, and like that's the style. Whereas like the leg lock submission, like that
it works in tournaments,
and it does work.
I don't think it would work as well in real life.
It'll be effective. Like I reckon it'll be super. Like let's say for somebody who's no experience and you're that solo grappler, you'll be able to submit that person and basically defend yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about controlling somebody, and
just like especially if someone had like a knife or something,
pressure game would be more ideal. But that'd be the tactic you'd have to take when somebody has a weapon on.
Yeah.
But like it depends upon the scenario. Like, jiu-jitsu is very complicated.
Yeah, I remember seeing a video of like I think Matt Serra.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh yeah, he's holding the guy down.
Yeah, like some dude was like trying to fight him, and he got into a bit of a scuffle, and he literally just like managed to like get on top of him.
He's just in mount. He's just holding him in mount. Just
and old mate on the bottom was like, "Yo, you make and he's like,
I'm gonna kill you.
And Matt's
let me
like,
off.
I'm not doing
Get
that.
off of me so I can kill you.
And like Matt Serra's just like, I'm not hurting
and he's
you.
so clueless as well. The guy on the bottom. There's
he was so clueless.
Like he's like got his arms up like this. He's like trying to like hit him like this.
Yeah.
It's like
and Matt Serra's just like, I've got control of this guy. Don't worry, I'm in control. Don't worry, everyone. It's okay. You're safe.
Yeah.
Da da da. He's like, just ring the police.
Yeah.
And he stayed on top of him until the police came. And like this bloke on the bottom was like, screaming out, acting like a dickhead, like and it even happened on Fear Factor when Joe Rogan was on there. He like had a fight with some.
But it was like more like he had a clench moment.
Yeah. And it's just like you don't want to like. I wouldn't want to fuck with Joe Rogan. I mean, have you heard his kicks?
Yeah.
Have you heard how they sound when they hit the bag?
Yeah. Well, he also weighs like 100 kilos or like 90-something kilos.
He's a big boy.
He's a
thick
boy.
TRT.
Yeah.
Did I tell you like a 10-year-old tried to mug me the other day?
The fuck?
I was riding my push bike to go have dinner with Caitlin, and this 10-year-old was following me on my bike, and I was like, oh, do you need help, mate? Because he's like yelling out. Of course, I heard like, oh, give me your bike. So I was like pretending I didn't know anything. Did you need help, mate? And he like comes over. He's like, oh, give me your bike. And I was like, no.
And then you rode away like a little bitch.
No. Then he was like, what? Like, he's like, I'll bash you for it. And I'm like, no, you won't. So I was sitting there with this 10-year-old kid just trying to like barter with me over my bike. He's telling me he's going to bash me. Like, I work so much for my money, mate. I've just saved up and bought this bike. Get your own, mate. No, I want that bike. I'm like, well, you're on the bike now. Where'd you get that? It was me mate's bike. So I just sat here for like 10 fucking minutes, and all of a sudden his mate just grabbed them and started dragging them away. And he's like, oh, can I have your helmet? No. Can I have a duck on your helmet? No, you don't have my duck's my helmet. Yeah. I gave him a duck and chucked it at him, and it dropped on the ground. He's like, oh, I don't want it anymore. And then he walked off. That was the weirdest encounter of my life.
Did you pick up the duck again?
Yeah, I did. Put it back in the helmet, of course. It was so weird.
Judo throw a 10-year-old.
I was just waiting for him to swing at me. I'm like, I'm going to throw you in traffic, kid. It was like on 15th.
That's exactly, that's what I was just talking about. People don't realise, like, how deep shit they're in.
Yeah.
Like, with like just walking up on the random person on the street.
Yeah.
Challenge them to a fight. You see it in bars happen all the time. So you don't know what the other person's done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, like someone like you.
Yeah.
Just how fucked they would be.
Yeah, like, so nobody knows that there's, like, maybe, like, you're talking to, like, a UFC champion, or, you know.
Yeah.
Just walk up to you, it's like some dude who's done, like, boxing for 15 years.
Yeah.
They don't know that, next thing you know.
Yeah. then you're fucked.
Wake up in hospital.
Yeah, it's like, you'll just wake
give
up.
me a mic. Bang.
There's actually a video that was posted on like Facebook on like a page where this guy in like the Adelaide or Gold Coast or something like that. There's two blokes were harassing this one bloke.
Yeah.
And this bloke I think he was like doing MMA or something like that.
Is that the guy who there's like 3 people trying to fight him,
and he like
kicks the dude in the head?
Yeah, and then like he sort of stumbles back and they still come after it.
Yeah, he was like a pro fighter.
Yeah. And he was completely in complete control, and you could see that the other 3 didn't know how to fight because the way they were like trying to swarm him, and he's just like he's gone and attacked one and then come back, and he's like ready again, and then he sort of like they come in and then it was a stupid fight, but
because he won, it was just like no, don't do this.
He's
like please.
That's it. Like if someone says don't try and fight me, I know how to fight. I mean, you don't really want to test it, but you sort of do. Like,
yeah, like your ego goes like, yeah, sure.
I can take ya.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
Hospital.
Yeah.
We all.
Yeah.
It was actually, I remember seeing that video. I was like, damn, and it was like, and that kick hit him flush too. Like,
hit him in the head, and he like stumbles onto the ground. And he gets up. He's still trying to like fight. Like,
and it's like dazing.
Yeah. He's like,
oh fuck. Imagine like somebody like a Joe Rogan kick, like somebody comes to fight, you get fucking walloped with that.
Yeah.
Like with a proper roundhouse.
Like a bunt.
Just like your ribs are broken, spleen's bleeding.
Well, I remember watching a video of him. He's like teaching Brian Callen, like the comedian,
and George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like that podcast episode?
It was like a podcast episode, and like Joe's like, yeah, man, I'll show you. And he's like, Joe's in jeans, and he's like smoked a bunch of weed, and he's like doing these like perfect kicks. And then like Brian Callen gets up and does them as well.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, face this way. And he's like grabbing him and shit like that, trying to do the right technique and things like that. But looking at the way he does it, I'm like, oh my god, it's like, he just muscle memory.
I've only ever hit one spinning heel kick. And that was not last time, the time before I went to MMA. I hit it. We were doing sparring, and I hit a spinning heel kick to the body, and it landed flush.
Yeah.
And so
oh, beautiful! Must have felt so good.
Yeah. After all these years of doing spinning kicks and to know
you in the face.
Yeah. and then he woke up.
No, I did. I hit one. I was so proud.
Oh yeah. Okay, this has been a good episode. It's been an hour and 40 already.
Shit.
That went quick.
Yeah.
Did we run out of here and go get food?
It was an hour, and then all of a sudden we're talking about fighting in like 40 minutes. We've come out of like...
We're at the hour mark when we've like got through all the shit, and then we're just like talking about fighting. We need like a fighting episode.
We do need a fight episode. I think we need to do one for that where we're having this. Yeah, I'll need to get cameras. I need to get more set up. More stuff. Yeah. Currently with like my... we'll talk about this afterwards. Alright, anyway, thank you for coming on, Dash. Thank you, Chris. This has been episode 22 of Thought Anthology. Goodbye.
Been good.
Where are we going to eat?